Lucia handed me this microphone and my hand started to shake. I am a little bit nervous, so please bear with me if I forget what I'm supposed to say, hence the notes. My name is Beth Fraser, and I have been with ID Life for just a little over 2 years now. Prior to that, I was involved with another MLM company, and why I joined them originally, date night money. I wanted to be able to treat my husband to a great dinner and know that the babysitter was paid for, because I'm a stay-at-home mom. And although, my income is my children's life, I don't, at the time wasn't bringing in any money. So that's how I ended up in multi-level marketing companies, and ours folded. And I am a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, because there was a angel who happened to work for them as well, who, they say everyone someone's always watching you. Well, I was watching her. I was watching her on social media. She transitioned over to ID Life, and I didn't know much about it, and I happened to reach out to her to see if I could maybe meet up with her, not realizing that just the week before she had moved to Virginia from Texas. And so luck would have it, I was able to meet up with Christy Dunaway. And what was supposed to be a 30-minute one-on-one turned into a 3-hour one-on-one where I missed getting my children off the bus. Thank goodness for neighbors. So it just was a great meeting, and I basically left there saying, sign me up. And she said, great. I'm just going to teach you 2 things right now. One is never miss a Monday. Mondays are our training days. And so she was basically telling me, you show up on that phone call every Monday and purchase Eric Worre's GoPro. Yes, ma'am, I will do that, because I am a rule follower, and I did. And I don't miss Mondays, and I have read that book now twice. So, where do we go from there? Well, I ended up at Revolution last April. I think it was April. Why did I end up in Dallas? One word: FOMO. I had a fear of missing out because the year prior, I missed Revolution because my husband had surprised me with a 40th birthday trip. And so while I was on the beaches getting a suntan, I was watching everyone on social media at Revolution, knowing that I was missing out, because I was watching the fire build in them, and I wished I could have split my body in half and flown to Revolution back then. So I knew then, in fact, before that Revolution ended, while I was on my trip, I bought my ticket for the next Revolution because I wasn't going to miss another one. So I showed up in Dallas at Revolution because I didn't want to miss it, but also because I needed to amp my business up. I needed to rev my business up, and I knew that Revolution would do that. And while I was in Dallas, a man by the name of Brian Lucia got up on stage. I believe it was the second day. You didn't know this was part of my thing. And he talked about the power of words. This was my aha moment, because his presentation, his training, taught me 2 things. It taught me to no longer be afraid of the word no, because that was a fear of mine. I was afraid that someone would say no to me. Why am I afraid of that? I don't know, but I was. And it gave me permission to I don't want to say to fail, because you only fail when you don't try. It gave me permission to try. And the 2 phrases that I took away that weekend and use consistently now in my business are, would you do me a favor? And please tell me no. And it was those words, please tell me no, that I was like, okay, I can ask somebody to tell me no, and it is going to be okay, because they can now say no to me, and I'm like, all right, fine, see you later. It's time to move on. And so besides that training, and now I'm really amped up, I'm ready to go. I turned to Christy Dunaway, who was sitting next to me, and I said to her, I'm putting this out there, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to hit senior director before Vegas. And she said, oh, okay, well, let me know how I can help you. And those were the best words, because I knew that she was in my back pocket whenever I needed her, and that she was going to be my biggest cheerleader along the way and help me whenever I needed. I knew I could go to her as a resource And then I went home and I told my husband the same thing, because I figured if I told 2 people, it had to be real and it was going to happen. That's accountability. And I needed that. I needed to have that accountability for myself to be able to do that. So what happened between Revolution and Vegas? I hit senior director. And the reason I hit senior director is because I got real about my business. I got consistent. You know, I was already never missing a Monday, and I was doing some professional development, but I was utilizing my resources. I was taking any training that they gave me and finishing it. Finishing it. That's a big thing. Because how many times do we start something and not finish it? Doesn't get us anywhere. So I was finishing my training, and as a result, things started to grow and things started to happen, and I was gaining confidence in myself. And what I've learned since Vegas is you have to marry the process and divorce the results, the outcome. See, up to this point, I was focused on that end result, that end goal, hitting senior director, getting into VIP seating, having that workout with Jen Wiederstrom. Those were the things that I had focused on. That's the outcome. I don't necessarily have control over that. I have control over being consistent in my business, doing my M5, you know, working out, just going through the motions. I have control over that. Now, I'm going to say this now that I know that I have control. I'm going to continue to work my business, and ED has come close. I've come close to hitting ED. ED is, for whatever reason, the step that when Christy and I met 2 years ago, and she said car bonus at ED, there was something about that step that made me go, oh, I want that. I want that ED. I want to be able to say I have a car bonus. I don't know why that makes a big difference to me, but there's something about that that makes it feel legit. And I'm so close to that legit feeling, and I will say ED by Revolution because I'm working the business, because I've married the process. So, who is ready to be legit with me?
Yes.
I want to walk on those beaches. You want to walk with me?
Yes.
Good. So that's really my story. I have 2 little girls and a husband who, we are products of the product. My daughters wake up every morning, and after breakfast, they're the ones grabbing the vitamins now. I don't need to remind them. I don't need to force them. They love it. They know how it makes them feel inside, and they're taking Hydrate to school every day. And my oldest she's just smart. She's just natural at everything. My youngest has to work hard for everything, and I think that the Hydrate and the vitamins have really helped her focus in school, and she's gaining confidence in herself, and that, as a mom, means a lot to me. My husband, I think, was a little bit skeptical of this at first, and he's heard me talk about things. He's heard Christy talk about products, and he decided, he's a triathlete. He does Olympic-length triathlons. I don't know if you know anything about that, but it's a couple hours of hardcore working out. He started taking the pre-hydrate and post, and he's very regimented in his routines, and loves the way they taste, was loving the way they made him feel, but it wasn't until almost a year after he started taking it that he could compare the same race results on the product versus off the product, and he's dropped minutes off of his triathlon times at the same exact races, and he's even made it on the podium a couple of times. So he's now a firm believer in the product as well, and for me, the vitamins and the sleep strips have really helped me. You know, I used to dabble in the sleep strips. It was never anything that I did regularly until probably right around Revolution. But I've been taking them regularly, and I have a little bit of anxiety that kind of comes up in the most stressful moments, and the holidays are a really stressful time of year when you're a mom and you're the one that has to do the Christmas cards and the Christmas shopping, and you're the ones organizing all the parties and the class parties and all the other things that go along, that mental load that gets added. And it was smooth sailing for me this year, and I truly attribute it to our vitamins and our sleep strips. So we really have good stuff. Mm-hmm. And I just want to thank you for listening to me today and letting me share my story. And I'm going to pass this back to Brian and Gia. Woo!